Good afternoon. This is Pastor Henry Sanders with Faith Outreach Christian Center here in Navasota, Texas. I'm coming to you with thoughts from the shepherd's heart. I love to bring you the nuggets that God gives to me to share with you. And we've been talking about concepts, actually life-changing concepts that can change your life, that can change your daily walk, your perspective of life. Most of all, it can change your influence upon people, and it can change your destiny and change other people's destiny. These concepts, and I've kind of named them off each time. It's Paul said it. He said, "I'm a debtor to man," and he said, "I'm ready to preach the gospel at Rome. I'm ready. He said last week we talked about. He said, "I'm persuaded," uh, and those are things that I'm a debtor. I owe something. I need to do something with this. I need to. I'm not ashamed of him. I want to do what I can to lift him up. I'm prepared. I'm ready to do whatever God calls. I'm not busy about doing my things. I'm busy about doing his things. And then we talk about being persuaded that neither death nor life nor angel or principalities, nothing can separate you from the love of God. Why? Because we are crucified with Christ. Nevertheless, we live. Now, I'm going to go back into talking about being persuaded. Then we're going to get into some of the finality of these lessons. Paul said, "I'm persuaded." That means I have a change of mind. I have been convinced. I have looked at it as in many ways I can. I have dissected this thing, and I have come to the conclusion that God loved me so much that he sent his son, and that he transformed my life, and he's made me become the righteousness of God in Christ. I'm persuaded. He made me to believe that. There's no doubt he did this. Now listen to this. Philippians 3:10 says that I may know him, and this is the key to know God. A lot of people know a little bit of the Bible. They know what their church teaches. They know a couple of songs that they sing. They know a few verses in the Bible. They know a little bit. That's not what it's about. It's about knowing him. I would dare say if you were on an island all by yourself where there was nothing to do, no cell phones, no televisions, no computers, and there was nobody else there. It was just you and God. You'd get to know God in a very special way because you wouldn't have the distractions in your life. You wouldn't have the things that's pulling you away. You wouldn't have the things that where you're making a compromise with your life, trying to spend part of it in the world and part of it with God. You'd be so convinced because you're persuaded that he's the only way. He's the truth. He is the life. And there's no other way to the Father but through him. And you're finding that he will never leave you or forsake you. That no matter where you go, what you do, no matter how many times you fall and you just blow it, he's always there to pick you up and lift you out. Now, this is what Paul said. This is in Philippians chapter 3. He says, I want to know him and the power of his resurrection and the fellowship of his suffering. Now, I know a lot of people that want to know the power of his resurrection. They just kind of get a little, what do you call it, woovy and wanting to know the fellowship of his suffering. And yet, you'll not ever really get to know Jesus in the way that he can be known, in the way he wants you to know him, until you know him through your sufferings. Because you find in your sufferings, everybody else may peel away. They might go away. They might find other things to do and leave. He will never leave you. When you're sitting there and your best friend's gone and the doctors have said this and you lost these things in your life and you're just, what am I going to do? Well, you can always look around and Jesus is always there. because he will never leave you. Paul said it this way: I want to know him. I want to know him and the power of his resurrection, the fellowship of his suffering. Now, he said this earlier on in his life. But then when Paul was getting ready to make his departure, when Paul knew that his death was evident, that he was fixing to leave this world. And if you don't know, Paul was martyred. He was martyred in Rome. They took a guillotine and severed his head from him. But before he did those things, before that all happened to him, he was writing a letter to Timothy. He said, Timothy, I've wanted to know him and the power of his resurrection, the fellowship of his suffering. But I want you to know this. Today, I know whom I have believed. I know him. How did he get to know him? Well, he was shipwrecked 3 times and left in the deep. He was stoned. He was without food. He was without water. He was out, said he'd been without clothes, naked. Paul was rejected by people. He was hurt. He was even rejected by people that he loved, and they loved him at one time. And what am I getting at? Paul was put in a position in life that when he turned around and they had all forsook him, Jesus was there. And he found this out through his life relationship with God. I know now whom I believe, and I am persuaded. I know whom I believe, and I am persuaded. Now we're talking about being persuaded here. I know whom I have believed, and I am persuaded that he is able. Well, this is a big concept I'm talking to you about now. When you know that God is able, not only able, willing, not only able and willing, he has already done it. That all we have to do is believe it to receive it. Whether it's life everlasting, whether it's healing, whether it's the Lord just working a work in your life, making you become more than you've ever dreamed you could be. He said, I am persuaded that he is able to keep that which I've committed unto him against that day. What day? The day of the Lord. The day that we go to meet the Lord, and the day that the Lord comes and takes us home. I am persuaded that he's able to keep that. What is it that you have had so precious to you, and you were so reluctant in giving it to God? And God said, if you'll give it to me, I'll keep it for you. I know that he's able to keep that which I have committed unto him against that day. It could be a child that's not walking with God. It could be a situation with a relationship, things that you've said, God, I'm going to have to trust you with this. And God says, I got it. That's a saying we have today. I got it. God's got it. He's working his will and good pleasure in your life. But he says not only that, he says, what the things that I've committed to him against that day. What day? The day I stand before him. The day that this world's over, my life is through here, and I stand in his presence. He will be faithful with what I've committed to him against that day. So I'm convinced he is with me. He is able to do what is needed to be done in me and through me. This is Paul. Paul's realizing this. I have written down here, I am persuaded because I know he's able. Nothing is impossible with God. All things are possible. He says that just cast your cares on me because I care for you. The Lord is with us. He's encompassed us. He's filled us. He is already prepared the place for us in heaven. He's promised to never leave us. He's He's with every decision you make, he's going to help you make the right decision. He's filled you with his Holy Spirit. And with all of this, this is where we have been persuaded. Now, this is the concept that will change the rest of your life. I am persuaded. I have been made to believe. I am convinced that God is on the throne of heaven, and he's on the throne of my heart. That he is making a way where there doesn't seem to be one. That he's opening doors that have been shut. And he's shutting doors that need to be closed. He has proven his word is true. He has showered us with blessings. He is so faithful. You see, the way you get persuaded to something and you're made to be convinced is something has proved you wrong and proved it right. So when you have been persuaded, that means God took the challenge to show you who he is and to show you who you were and now to show you who you are. And now he's going to show you what you're going to be. Because we're persuaded that he's able to keep that, which we have committed to him against that day. Nothing being impossible to God. Have you committed something to him that you haven't seen it happen yet? You know, God's not on your time schedule. God is not on your calendar. God is God. He's the God of yesterday. He's the God of today. He's the God of tomorrow. And with him, a day with the Lord is of 1,000 years. All I can tell you is with God, he's never late. He loves to do the 11:59 appearance, though. Okay? He loves to show up when it looks like it's not going to happen. Because you know what? If we could make it happen, we wouldn't be giving him the glory for it. So what we do is we just trust him. As you're walking through life and you're running into this situation, you're falling in that problem, you know, this thing is happening, and you know, the day you got this all planned, it rains or all kind of problems take place. And you're learning to do the most important thing from the day that you accepted Jesus. The most important thing you'll ever do is trust him. The most difficult thing you'll ever do is to trust him. Because you see, trust means you cast yourself upon him. Proverbs 3:5-6, trust in the Lord with all of your heart. Don't lean to your own understanding. It's so limited. It's so shallow. It's no comparison. Don't lean to your own understanding. Don't even bring it into conception of, well, this is what I think. It don't make any difference what you think. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Don't lean to this other stuff. But in all your ways, acknowledge him. How do you acknowledge him? You know, I've been with people before that they've asked me to come to a group, and I get there and they get to talking, and they just assume I know everybody. They never acknowledge me, and not that that's a prideful thing. It's just that people don't know who I am. And you know, I think it's important that we acknowledge. You know, I've been places with my wife, and I've been busy taking care of things and talking to people, And my wife says, "Did you know that you didn't even introduce me today?" And I said, "Man, I did not realize that." Acknowledgement. He says, "In all your ways, acknowledge me. Let 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 God be known. Share him with others, and consider him in everything that you do. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will what? He will direct your path. Why? Trust in the Lord with all your heart. He'll direct your path. I'm persuaded that he's able to keep that which I've committed to him against that day, because he is a God who loves you and he's faithful in all his ways. God bless you.